Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Gladyamadeit. It's another social production. We're doing it on Friday, May the 10th, 2024. Wherever you're tuning in from. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram, follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel so you get the full-length videos. Check out patreon.com/RobSadra if you'd like to physically, financially support the show. If you've been with me from the get-go, sending all the love right back to you. If you're just joining us today, welcome to the family. Buckle up, buckle down once again. The syndicate is well alive and kicking. All right, alive and kicking. But nonetheless, the syndicate is doing it. Mi familia, the gang is at it again. It's Friday, wherever you're tuning in from. Let's get a sip of this first. That was really hot. It was a little bit extra hot, but that's we like it hot. Oh, I like it when it burns. That's when it's working. If you're tuning in from Canada, Wagwan, what's going on, everybody? If you're down south in the United States, shout out to you. Hello. Over there in Mexico, South America, over there in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Austria again, not Australia, Austria, Poland, the check yourself. Where else? Senegal, Turkey, where else? Italy, France, Spain, Cote d'Ivoire, hello there. What's going on in Zimbabwe? Nicaragua, you get the gist. It's all around the globe. 360 doing it again. It's Friday. I'm doing all right. I hope you're doing all right too. Daddy's running along. And it's emotions, thoughts, the fact that everything's moving. It's nice. I'm feeling good. Not too good, but like good. You never want to, again, I've never been the type that wants to feel too good. That's just keep it right there. Just buzzing right there. Just right there. We're just somewhere in the middle somewhere, I think. But I hope you're doing well wherever you are. If you're not doing well, we'll turn it around together. Sit down or stand up rather. Whatever you're comfortable. Sit on a medicine ball. Do some sit-ups. Do some sit-ups while you're getting head. That's the best medicine. Medicine ball, abdominal workouts, and head keeps the doctor away. That they don't tell you that. Doctors, it's always like bite an apple. Medicine ball, do an abdominal workout, getting head. That's the secret to success, or a better morning routine at least. Ladies and gents, I don't know what we're talking about. It's a loose Friday. I guess all about today's. I don't have I guess the larger underlying theme will be it's all about perspective, how you look at it. That'll be the theme for today. That's right. Perspective and how you look at it. You look at it from the top. Whoa, what is that? Look at it from the bottom. Whoa, there we go again. That's another perspective. Left, right. Looking from an angle. Looking from this, that, and the other. It's all about perspective. That's the underlying theme of today's episode. Thank you for joining me. From where I'm standing, I gotta say, you sons and daughters of bitches, you sexy cousins out there, we're doing it. You're looking good out there. Keep it up, or keep it down. Tone it down, cut back, whatever you're doing. It's too much, or it's not enough. But it's all about perspective. And we'll get into it, ladies and gents. But let's start with this. I'll just say this. I hope, and I really want to emphasize, what was that? If you know, you know. If you don't know, that is scientists, including myself, I don't have a plaque on the wall. I don't have a degree, but it's all about perspective. A bunch of scientists and myself, we were out in the ocean swimming around as scientists do, doing research in the middle of the ocean, taking a little dip, wearing bikinis. We're on an island. All the scientists are a little bit overworked from doing all the science, and to wind down, the scientists say, you know what? Skinny dipping sesh at noon. See you there. So we did skinny dip sessions. You know, we rubbed oil on each other's backs. We did science in the water, outside the water. Did a little bit of extracurricular science. 69 shades of science. We did it all. It was dirty, but necessary. Messy. It would have been messier if we didn't do it. But we were in there, man. We were in the ocean, and we decided to study what? The biggest animal with the biggest brain in all of planet Earth, the sperm whale. And I was leading the team, actually, because that's what I tend to do, especially when it comes to science. Lead scientist here. So I'm out there with my lab coat. Nothing, it's just a white lab coat. I'm not wearing anything underneath, of course. And I'm in the ocean, so you can see everything. It's nice for me and the team. Swimming around, all I hear is, and I'm like, what is that? So I spent, and I'm not going in the depths of the ocean with, a lot of people like to go scuba diving or, just straight up diving into the depths, and they go with oxygen tanks. Not this guy. I take one deep breath in, and I go early in the morning too. I get the team out there, we're all underwater, and I'm like, no oxygen tanks. We're not gonna be, you're either gonna do this properly or not gonna do it at all. We're either gonna be studying what's in the water, doing it water style or wet, or we're not gonna, if you're gonna take an oxygen tank, don't even bother coming. That's what I say to the team. So, and some are like, oh, we might, I might have a little bit of trouble breathing underwater. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, that's we're not gonna slow down just because you can't breathe underwater. Like, get it together. We're scientists, god damn it. It's about perspective. So I hear that noise underneath the water, and I study it for like 72 days. Half a year I study it. Decades I spend underwater just breathing with my regular lungs. Yeah, because that's when I dedicate myself to a god. Like, it's, you know what I mean. You go fully and just. You got to commit to it. So that's what I'm not going to go with an oxygen tank that I know is going to run out. It's just, I train myself. It's all about, if you consistently breathe, and it's loosening the asshole would help. I'll say this. So if you can just breathe through your mouth or your nose and just pass all the water, all the excess food, everything, just with a loose asshole, you'll be surprised as how much time you'll be able to spend underneath the water. Because a lot of people are like, man, once the air goes in, there's no way it's coming out. Oh, it's coming out. It's coming out. Ladies, you got 2 airwaves. It's queefing out there, breathing. Forget gills. You got puss lips. Use it. So I'm out there with the team, and we hear these noises, and I notice a bunch of sperm whale are making noise. So I'm like, let's study this shit. And after hours, days, years underwater, I cracked the code. I noticed that these clicking noises are actually phonetic alphabets. These sounds that these whales are making are actually like words that we might be using in sentences. So I'm like, shit. Look at the size of brain on this sperm whale. And I was feeling a little bit inadequate because like they're dominating that sperm whale. Like, the sperm is in the name. So like they got a chokehold on the sperm game. So every once in a while I'll just like be swimming by and just jizzing in the water just to let them know, I know you got the sperm whale title, but also this scientist, if push comes to shove, I will jizz on a sperm whale's eyeball right there, or your blowhole. I will clog that shit. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? Just because you're like, king of the underground or king of the wet world down there, don't get it twisted. I'll do it. I'll get in the blowhole and I will jerk. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just say this. It's interesting to find that other animals outside of ourselves, like, we know this obviously, but we know it on a very surface level. It got me excited, and as a scientist, it's my job to share with the fam, with the syndicate, with the familia, that other animals are speaking, and it's interesting to know what they're saying. Now, will we find out exactly what it is that they're saying? I'm going to need to spend more time underwater, and I'm going to need a lot more resources in terms of manpower, and by manpower, I mean the woman power. The team's going to be comprised of mainly women with large racks. That's right, because that's when the best science gets done. Believe it or not, that's what the best science, that's how it's done. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. They're like, no, medium to small size tits will do just fine. They won't. Large, massive tits. Double D's. We're talking top-notch science here. Cream de la creme. Up there. Statistically speaking, floating, buoys. You never want to, just be like, okay, I'm gonna take this flat-chested lady, good gal, but when it comes to sink or swim, baby, you want the biggest balloons out there. So the best of the best scientists with not just the brightest minds, but the brightest tits. We take them there, we do, lots of extensive research, and we will crack it. We'll find out what these sperm whales are saying. Are they inviting us down there? Are they talking about us? Are they gossiping about us? Are they talking about like, oh, did you hear what's going down at the Met Gala? How do they know what's going on at the Met Gala? They're down there. How do they know? How do they know? How do they know that the outfits were dope? But they too, you know what they said? I heard this. The sperm whale allegedly said, the Met Gala, as dope as because it is not, and that's perspective to it. You can go back to perspective. It's one of those things that you keep wanting to push yourself and you want to grow, and you change your mind on things. That's what, that's how growth comes along. So, what might have seemed just gay yesterday is pretty dope today. Pretty fun, because it is art, isn't it? It is nice to see cool outfits. Sure, you don't get it, but it's nice to see it. It's nice to have it. In the mix of everything just, floating in art, it's nice to have it. But one thing that the sperm whale and I concur this one point, what could the Met Gala use? A little bit, I'll say this, a little bit light on jizz. That's the key ingredient to holding those pieces, those outfits, to get a little bit more jizz. We are trying to innovate, I'll tell you that. We are trying to always come up with ways to push the boundaries with outfits that shock, but also incite, thought-provoking ideas. So again, next year, a little bit more jizz. I think we'll do the Met Gala. And again, that's not me saying it, sperm whale. And again, if you spoke, I know what they're saying because I spent, again, a ton of time down there. Jizz. They said it. I'm just bringing forth the message. Did they have anything else to say? We're figuring it out. But for now, Met Gala needs more jizz on the dresses and the outfits. So please, just so we are all getting along as a planet and as a species, it will, so again, check perspective, remember that, and have fun with it. But that's sperm whale, and who knows what other animals are saying. Dogs, cats, raccoons, birds. It'd be interesting, maybe with the help of technology in the not too distant future, we'll be able to decipher what these little bad boys and bad gals are saying. And maybe that'll be wonderful, because then they'll be like, oh, we love you humans. We love that you take care of us and put us in, sometimes necessary sanctuary, sometimes, Susan, we like it when you leave us alone too. Maybe they're saying all that. Maybe they're like, oh, I love it when you bend down and pick up my poop. Maybe they'll say that. Maybe the next, oh, I'm gonna take a shit right here. You pick it up. I'm gonna go sniff this other dog's ass. BRB. You'll know next time. You'll know next time. You're like, I wonder why they're sniffing ass. Because that's now you'll know. Now you'll know, which is nice. Or maybe we'll find out that they're indeed plotting against us, which will then we'll have to sit down and reevaluate a whole lot of relationships. Pet animal relationship. That goldfish. Tiny. Memory always is, selective memory with the what do they know? What don't they know? What are they talking about? So it's all questions that might be answered in the not too distant future. But again, it's thanks to you, scientists. And I don't want to be the only scientist that takes full credit for this, but should people want to, if it is the way, again, did I lead the charge? Yes. Did I say these clicking noises are a little bit sus? Yes. Did I specifically say big-titted women trying to push, trying to bring a little bit more to the science? Yes, I did. All of it. So, but again, team effort. Nonetheless, everybody was pulling their weight equally, just as hard. Sharon. No judgments anywhere, just saying overall group effort, we're doing it. Ladies and gents, boys and girls. So that's sperm whale, and have you noticed your animal making noises? Or you got a parrot, you got a dog that's barking and saying words. Keep at it. I would suggest you quit your job and stop going to work, and if you've got a family, abandon them today and spend time with your dog or your cat who is meowing or barking, but it seems like a word. I think you're onto something. Think about the potential scalability of this project. If you can get a communication going on between you and your pet dog or cat or goldfish or crocodile, I don't know what kind of pet you got in your bedroom, but it'll be nice. It'll be nice for the internet. It'll be nice for the world. You can tour. If it's a talking man, if it talks back, if it dirty talks, you know what I mean? So that's so many different ways we could go about this, but all I'm saying is if you find it, exploit that shit, put it to good use, but also one baby step at a time. Don't push them. Little treat, one word. No words. You ain't getting a treat, little pup. All right, you're cute. You'll get a treat, but still, it'd be nice to hear a couple of words in there. So get them talking. Don't be afraid. And again, if you hear things that are just like, whoa, again, these are the early stages of communication. Do not be alarmed at what you're going to hear. Do not be, taken aback and be like, man, I did not prepare myself for this. But prepare yourself. Prepare yourself and get ready, because oh man, we're there. We're getting there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wherever you're tuning in from once again. Let's do it together. It's Friday. Feeling all right. Feeling okay. Moving along. Let's get a sip of this. I'll say this, again, what did we say initially today? Today's going to be a little bit about perspective, how you look at things. I myself am trying to do that as I go, as I learn and I try to grow, and I try to be like, all right, mistakes there, improvements there, this here, that again, perspective, because you learn, and that's the whole point of life, I think. One of that, and make bank, but also like learning's apparently like it's good for you, I think. No, it is. They say it, so it is. And everybody tries at their own pace. It's okay. As long as you're trying, that's the important thing. The point is that it's about perspective. And recently you might have been hearing, it's the past few years, I personally don't know what's going on. Boeing airplane manufacturing has been in the news lately. It's just been consecutively over the past few years, been building up, engine goes off in the middle of the sky, door opens up in the midair, wings are flapping a little bit too loosely as opposed to being a little bit more firm and stationary the way we like it. But we're like, wheels not, coming down when we're about to make a landing. Yes, we've lost a few lives. People have gotten injured. But again, I like to remind everybody that it's about perspective. It's easy to say Boeing is having issues with safety, and it's easy for whistleblowers to come out and raise concerns, and it's easy to take care of them and make them disappear. All that, it's easy to unalive someone. It's easy, and it's easy to, allegedly suicide yourself. And, it's easy. It happens once. That's strange. Happens again with another whistleblower, healthy, middle-aged male. All of a sudden drops dead again. These are just, again, it's about perspective. I like to say, I think Boeing, first of all, fan of Boeing, fan of flights, fan of technology. Could we all agree? Let's start off from a place where we can all agree on stuff. What do we all like? Twinkies, yes. Chocolate chip cookies. Do we all agree? Best cookies ever? Yes, of course. A little bit of pubic hair in your mouth in the morning. Yes. Can I have some? Little bit of pre-cum, little bit of puss juice. Again, these are all things so we are all on the same page. But it's about perspective, ladies and gentlemen. So Boeing is having a little bit of, I don't know what it is. What's going on is that you need to adjust your perspective. But this is what I say. Because one could easily say that these are safety concerns. One could easily say that the airplanes perhaps need a little bit more adequate care. How old are these planes? When do you take them out of commission? Generally speaking, these are things that I don't have any knowledge of, but it is something that has been popping up in my mind lately. I'm like, how old should an airplane be before you retire it? Or should airplanes ever even retire? Because they are just, why would you retire? If it's just an engine replacement, maybe the body's, I don't know these things. All I'm saying is, it's about perspective. So one might easily look at the situation and say, lives lost, people died. Folks had panic attacks because the door popped open mid-flight and there was a lot of air blowing in your mouth, and it opened your mouth as if you were about to give head to the largest cock on planet Earth, but there's no cock in sight. Everybody's buckled down, seated, so you're disappointed. You might be having your mouth wide open, so wide, in fact, that the largest tits in the world could easily fit both of them in your mouth. And you're just like, man, I'm ready. I'm stretched out, gauged it. no titties in sight. You're hoping that the pressure from the air coming in will lift somebody's top off and, you know, have a tit just fly in your mouth and be like for about an hour or so before we let. But these are all, you know, you can look at it a different, you know, people can come out of this situation and be like, I have, you know, post-traumatic disorder from this. I have, you know, I'm traumatized from this. I can't fly no more. I can't, you know, oh, I shat myself. I sharted. I pissed all over the place because I was scared. The airplane was on fire. These are, again, it's about perspective. So I like to just, let's recalibrate together. Let us pull it back. Let's just take a look. First of all, flights in general, the safest mode of transportation on, on this planet, at least that we're aware of, in terms of, you know, when we're talking about cycling, walking, skateboarding, rollerblading, ice skating, canoeing, kayaking, paddleboarding, bobsledding, tricycles, unicycles, amongst cars, those cars with 3 wheels, weird fucking, you know, you look at it, you're like, is this a bike or a car? You don't know. There's one guy, mid-aged, chest hair flipping in the air, God bless, but still, why? I'm just saying, it's, you know, comparatively, it is the safest mode of transportation. So first, let's just overall, generally speaking, we can all agree flights are safe. Okay, let's calm down for a second. Next, let's try to look at this from a different perspective. Aren't you the type that is always saying, oh, I need a little bit of spontaneity in my life. I need a little bit more action. A little less conversation, a little more action, please. That's what you said. Shaking your hips, bouncing up and down on the trampoline. You need a little bit more adrenaline. You need a little bit of, oh, just what's going on today? Life's an adventure. Didn't you say that when you bought that hatchback? With the fold down seats? You did it. You did it. Minivan, good investment, but not exciting enough, is it? So instead of looking at this and saying to yourself, oh, flights are meant to be safe. I'm thousands of feet in midair. I'd like to get from point A to point B safely. What about a little bit of adrenaline? What about a little bit of excitement? When was the last time you had the opportunity to step up, and become the hero that no one asked for? Think about it. Almost never. Most of our lives, we are just going about our daily lives, regular lives, 9 to 5s, family, friends, time for ourselves, consuming, producing this, that, and the other. But rarely do you ever get a chance to step up, inadequately prepared to actually save a field. When does that? Barely ever. But these are opportunities. These are opportunities. With Boeing, when you're flying, you're not just flying. Your life is on the line, which is, how many other flights could say that? Not too many, because why? We just said flights, generally speaking, the safest mode of transportation. So having said that, I think Boeing is right now probably an innovator. I'll say they're spearheading this movement all by themselves. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on in the backgrounds of these things. You know, are there competitors, you know, going out there? Is there, you know, it could be a whole array of things going on simultaneously. It could definitely be safety concerns. It could also be a competitor trying to undermine Boeing so that they could sweep in. And all of a sudden, in the midst of all the action, commotion, and people being apprehensive about getting on planes that are Boeing, there comes another manufacturer of planes, and they're like, oh, I'm here, let's go. And think about it. Think about who you're supporting, where you're spending your money. So before you say there might be other competitors making allegedly, you know, safer planes, ask yourself, what kind of experience do you want in life? Sure, half your flight might end up in the ocean and die, but the other half who survives and lands on a tropical island in the middle of nowhere will get to form a bond like no bond's ever been bonded before. And you like bondage, don't you? So think about these things. You know, next time you see the pilot who's been flying for 30 years having a panic attack, you know, step up, stop complaining, get in the cockpit, slap him firmly in the face, unbuckle his seat, get in the pilot and take over if need be. If it's going down, if it's nose diving, get in there. If it works out, hero. If it doesn't, you'll say you became a pilot for at least a few minutes. These are great. Again, landing safely on the tarmac, yes, but we've been doing that for too long. Honestly, I see too many regular landings, and I'm over it. I want those doors to pop open with the yellow balloons rolling out and people sliding. Like more people should slide in and out of planes. One thing we've learned from all this, I'll say this: getting in and out of planes, at least out of planes, the roll up balloons that the roll up steps or slides for safety measures only. They should be actually used on a regular basis. I can't get people off the plane faster. I just want to, I see an elderly person or a fat chubby fella in front of me. I will just, punch you down the little tube that'll just get you to the ground faster. But that, again, we have to wait for an emergency. In case of an emergency, get on a, slide down. Tuck your elbows in. I'll tuck it in or I'll leave it out if I want to. You don't know. You don't know this guy. Don't put it, don't put pressure on me. You gotta tuck it. Maybe I can tuck my elbows in. Maybe they're untuckable. Discriminatory son of a bitch. Expecting everybody to tuck their elbows. Like the world revolves around you. Everybody can tuck their elbows. It's a lot of pressure. All I'm saying is, instead of looking at this and being like, stop taking flights with Boeing or question what is going on, be a little bit more supportive. Be a team player. All right? Quit complaining. If a baby's freaking out, you step up. Slap him in the face and save a life in midair. Quit complaining. Everybody's like, oh, the flight didn't have any wheels when it was landing. Do we even need wheels? Do we? You know what I mean? Flat surfaces can just grind on each other, and a little bit of spark underneath the plane is exciting. I'll say that. Hella exciting. No wheels? Let's go. Find somewhere where it's like icy, and if you're a good pilot, you'll be able to land that thing without any sparks. But all these pilots these days, they're too, everybody's becoming codependent on the automation and the co-pilot, and you landed, no you landed, no you landed, no you landed. Everybody's just jerking each other off in the cockpit. What are you doing? When to concentrate, find a patch of ice, no wheels, no big deal. That's how I do it. And I don't even have a license, but that's how I do it. So questions are being asked, people are just getting murked. And again, I don't know what the reason is, but support a good brand. Support a good brand when you're getting a little bit extra. If anything, you're getting a little bit extra. We should be charging you more Boeing should be charging you more. I don't see anybody else competing with excitement in terms of excitement levels. Who's offering more exciting flights? Right now, Boeing has got the chokehold on the exciting part of the game. So, quit complaining, change your perspective, invest a little in Boeing. If people are just coming and complaining, these safety issues need to be safety issues. Do we? It's, I don't know. Personally, lame. Give me a. I want the loosest plane. In fact, when we're taking off, I want bolts to be just like whizzing by. I don't want to see stable bolts, because I've seen it. I've been there, done that. Hello, new time, new age. Let's go in with more adrenaline, and that's a flip of a coin. It's a coin toss. You never know what's gonna happen. It's a Russian roulette without you actually having to go out there and play Russian roulette. It's a little bit of a, again, life-changing experience if you ask me. Near-death experiences. How many other flights can offer that? Not too many. If anything, Boeing should be charging more. Personal opinion. I'm not sponsored by Boeing. If Boeing wants to give me a plane, I'll take it. But I'm just saying, patreon.com/RobSadri is also where you can go to support the show, watch it grow. But again, if you got planes, some people might now ride, 5-10-year-old planes. I will take them off your hands, park them right on top of my face. So, perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's garbage, somebody else's treasure, as the old saying about garbage and treasure goes. Somebody's treasure is somebody else's garbage. That's right. Something along those lines. Somebody's secondhand trash is somebody's first-hand treasure. Somebody's treasure at first. You take somebody's treasure and you give it to somebody else, man. It's like, ugh, garbage. And then that person gives it to another person. I was like, whoa, treasure. So it's all about perspective, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, support local businesses, homegrown, Boeing, support Boeing with your life. Quit being so selfish and so melodramatic. Oh, people were dying. Injuries. Do you want excitement or not? Why do you sit down and watch all those thrillers, horror movies, exciting music? Every time there's fireworks, I gotta go watch fireworks. Why? And then they're giving you live fireworks right underneath your feet. And all of a sudden everybody's complaining. It's the whole man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Neuralink is making strides. Heard recently, we've had the first person that had the implant put in there. They've been chipped. It's nice. These are great, exciting things. We're making advancements, man. Seriously, it's like somebody has a little bit of they're immobile. They've got a little bit of they're a little bit mentally or physically not as able as other. It's nice if you get a chip in there. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you're playing Pong. Next thing you know, you're on the Switch, you're on the Twitch, you're on the Xbox. You're kicking ass out there. So people are doing these things. It's great. We're making strides. There are there any downsides to this? If your friend who was just till yesterday, just paralyzed from the neck down, couldn't really move, was kind of dependent on you, his family or her family to get him around, and he was, no attitude, just a nice guy in a wheelchair, all of a sudden gets a brain chip implant. Next thing you know, he's playing games, getting good, moving mouse cursors on the old PC, making his own strides, coming into his own little by little baby steps nonetheless. It's one of those things that if your friend starts getting a little, I'll say this, if they start getting a little bit too, if they start thinking that they're, what I mean? Nip it in the bud, just tilt the wheelchair, have them pop off, and hey, big dog, at least 10,000 hours standing on your feet till you can go around, chest out, all proud of yourself, thinking you're, what I mean? So if they're giving you headshots with just their mind and thinking, just because they beat you at a game for 3 hours, set it straight. So that, come in there with the attitude. If they're getting mobility, let's take it places where they can't still, because these things will get better. Eventually he'll stand up. Eventually we will get there. Eventually, that's the beauty of science. Whatever ailments you got, we will eventually fix it, one step at a time. Those are the bright sides of science. The downsides are the attitude. You come in with the attitude, let your friend win at least once, at least so we, what I mean? So all of a sudden, Mr. Chip in the Brains beating me in all the games, you know what I mean? It's just a little bit too much too soon, I say. So just to check them for a second. If they're getting a little bit too, if they're getting a little aggro with the headshots, take it easy there, fella. Invite him to a wrestling match. Invite him to a little bit of a, let's go for a sprint, see how you do out there. Take him out swimming, dump him in the water, see what's happening there now. Who needs help? So just to set things straight, do not, am I happy for people? Yes. But also it's like, hey man, we're all trying and we're all the same. So don't get ahead of yourself. And also a little bit of, just attitude, a little bit of attitude, please. Just walking in there, roll on his wheelchair, just beating chess games on the lines and all sorts of accolades and getting pussy, all this. It's too much, too soon. Let's skirt there for a second. I'm driving the car with my mind. Okay, all right. I am happy about the Neuralink. I'm happy about yes, it's great. It's fantastic. downside of downside, these, these fellas and ladies who will be getting it initially might end up just dominating all of us, because they'll be the first ones to get you get a fellow who's like paralyzed, he'll get it or she'll get it. Next thing you know, they are cracking codes, making connections, doing things, all sorts of things you'd hope that that you'd hope I hope you get a little pinch of, in terms of like everybody wants a little bit of the tism is strong today. Everybody wants a little bit at least. So you'd hope that you've had enough needles in your arm or your butt growing up that something will trigger another, and late in the game you might just come out a little bit tizzed out, and who knows how that happens. But all I'm saying, it's interesting. It's interesting. What was out of fashion once very quickly comes into the spotlight and is like. So all I'm saying is let's keep an eye on these guys and gals. Let's just low key. Let's just because they're the first types of humans that are being embedded with technology. Are they even human at this point? Again, I'm not gonna be the one who says. I'm just saying. All right, just so we can build trust. Let's see where it goes, but I am excited. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'll say this, that everybody's been waiting for this new thing to pop out, and it just popped out. Did I create it? Yes. What is it? You're wondering to yourself. Let me ask you this. Do you like women? Of course. Do you like anything colored red, like ketchup, red paint? Yes. Thus leading you to love vaginal bleedage in terms of period blood? Yes. You're like, man, I wish I got a whole lot of it all at once in one sitting, or I wish there was an event I could go to and get a whole bunch of ladies just bleeding from the vag all over me. Are you asking for a period bukkake? Is that what I heard? You're welcome. You got it. Period bukkakes, because that's not been something that's been available on the market. I just think it's time. I think we've got enough resources. Ample amounts of research has gone into this. And again, it's about perspective. What could you do with it? What couldn't you do with period bukkakes really is the question. Because this thing is, they say the new Apple iPad is the new innovator that'll just be disrupting all sorts of technological and human abilities and innovation, just everything, just disrupting everything. Creative avenues are going to be just trampled on, but like new ways of creating will be music, designing things, creative drawing, listening, everything's just there's been speculation that the tech that's coming out that's embedded with who knows, a little bit of AI, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I say that is all fine and dandy, but the thing that's really going to change the game, period bukkakes, that's what's going to change the game. That's right. A room filled with ladies, full out period bukkakes, never been done before, at least not seen on TV, at least not seen on X-rated video sites, at least not available anywhere that I'm aware of. That's why I decided to create period bukkakes. You're welcome. Again, if you are, this will, I don't want to, again, people who are into the color red, you'll be highly appreciative of this. People who like the sight of blood, you'll also appreciate. The people who like a lot of ketchup, but ketchup is expensive. You can't get a lot of ketchup. It'd be hard to get a ketchup bukkake as well, so it's much easier to get humans in a room. And why would you put it in a bottle if you could get humans making connections? Period bukkakes will also, if there are any actual vampires out there, that'll be great, because we can draw them to the site. You see, you put up an ad, period bukkake, next thing you know, thin, pale looking fellas and ladies walk by with fangs. You'd be ready with the garlic. You'd be ready with the wooden stake or silver bullet, whatever the tool is, you'd be ready. I just think it'd be fun. I just think honestly it'd be fun. A little bit of wrestling in period bukkake rooms. A little bit of it's kind of like it's like escape room meets bukkake with a pinch of period blood, because it's easier to get in there and be like, all you need to do is find we need to get ladies who are syncing together, and that way You don't have to be like, nobody has to be in, because like regular bukkakis, there's always so much pressure because every, you might have 30, 40, 50 people doing the, let me go and just flick the bean, and boom, splash right there. 15, 20 people do it in a row, and then all of a sudden this one other person comes up, a lot of pressure, everybody's been performing really well. They're rubbing, the clit is being rubbed, and it's just the bean is being flicked, but nothing, maybe a little bit of maybe one teardrop, and everybody's like, yeah, and but it's not a full, but periods, once it hits, you're good to go for, and this could go on for at least 3 to 7 days. This could be, I know a lot of people attend like Burning Man, and that's, I don't know how long that is, but this could easily go for up to 7 days. And again, that's the thing, Burning Man, done and over with, you got to pack up and leave. We could have people coming in, we could replenish. Ladies who are finished now with their periods, leave, take it easy, you've done well, you've done great. Bring in other ladies, period bukkake sesh, let's go. So these are the things that are on my mind, and I know if I'm thinking it, somebody out there is always thinking it as well, and vice versa, samesies, we're all the same doing it, which is great. If you'd like to see this happen, leave a comment. If you already thought about starting this, let's go, leave a comment. Will we have drains in the room so that the blood drains? Because you don't want to be like, are people? No. We could easily, we could easily get drains that'll drain the blood. But I say, if you like to be just neck deep in period blood, bukkake sesh, no drainage, on the ground, enjoy. You're welcome. Where else would you ever get the opportunity? You wouldn't, because nobody's ever made it. We made it together, and that just shows you 1, perspective, 2, teamwork, 3, I can't think of a third reason. Those 2 are good enough, though. I'll say this, good enough. Spitting, ladies and gentlemen, spitting has been one of those things that I've just been thinking about it, just because I'm like, man, when was the first time that a human, ancestrally speaking, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years ago, humans gathering in the dark of the night or in the light of the day, chasing cheetahs and all other sorts of, running away from hyenas, grabbing onto some vultures and just like dipping off a cliff. It's like, 2 vultures in your hands and just flying like humans did in the early days. Just 2 vultures, 2 hands. If you're a light individual, and back then I would assume everybody was leaned out. It wasn't like you didn't have any obesity back then. You didn't have to, nobody was going with the, nobody was doing Ozempic hundreds of thousands of years ago. They got the Ozempic bod without the Ozempic face. Is that a thing? Are people's faces shrinking because of Ozempic? I don't know what I'm talking about. I've seen a few photos. Don't want to, what I mean? It's just, whoa, are we getting shrunken heads? Can Ozempic create shrunken, did we get shrunken heads with Ozempic? Are heads shrinking? I don't know. Are they? Or is it just overall people are just losing the weight? And I would like to see some shrunken heads. If Ozempic is indeed causing shrunken heads, I don't know if they are or if they're not. But if they are, I'm not signing up, but I like to see more of it. Just, big people slimming down, but also shrunken heads. Let's go. Just shrivel into a little prune. Concentrate where it's just like everything's being pulled in. I like it. I like shrunken heads. Just saying, if it creates it, let's go. It's working. You're getting smaller overall, right? Nice. Good. So quit complaining. Perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, the point I was trying to say is that spitting, that's what we were talking about. I wonder when it became a thing that people started did one person do it accidentally? Was it a sneeze that and then you got a loogie out accident, and then you're like, oh, that felt good, that was nice, and the next thing you're spitting, and the next thing you know, your fellow ape men and women, your fellow cavemen and women, your fellow grass skirt wearing men and women, everybody just started to spit. I wonder that first interaction in a group of humans, where somebody spat and then they're like, whoa, what are you doing? And then they too spat out. And then there must have been in humanity's history, there might have been one point where a group of people, maybe simultaneously all over the world, just decided to, just because out of, again, you practice, you experiment, you make mistakes, and then you learn and then you discover things. I just wish I was there for, yeah, they say if you could go back in time, and that'd be one of the first time a group of people in synchronicity just decided to just stand around a campfire and just out there, right there, right there, just all. How long did it go for? 10, 15, 20 minutes? And that's the thing too. That was, spitting could be, a lot of it, because that was the first time somebody probably like put out a fire was probably with spitting. I'll say this, because like, little bush catches on fire, oh, that bush is on fire. Just, you get a nice group of people just spitting all over it. You put that fire out, next thing you know, your little settlement is saved. Spitting, probably one of the first, if not, there was probably other ointments or lubes like honey or, oil from animal fat, or, just vegetable oil that the first humans decided to extract from vegetables and fruits. That, but like spit was one of the first forms of lubricant, which is nice. And also like cleaning yourself too, washing your hands, probably people like used to spit. It's just nice to think about these, and we've come a long way, but it is one of those things where you don't see much of it anymore. Every once in a while, somebody will like, you'll do it, you might do it, but it's not one of those things that's like available anymore. Maybe we bring it back, maybe a little bit more, just maybe that's what we need. Maybe that's what society needs. Just 10, 15 people gathered in a circle, just spitting and coming up with good things for themselves and each other, for, a little bit of team building activity. We could all get around a campfire and spit a little bit, can't we? It would be nice if probably like if you were like in the early days in the Saharas or in the sub-Sahara Africa, you're just like, oh, that's a hot, sunny, bright day, and you're resting under a tree in the middle of nowhere, and there are flies and bugs, and you're dehydrated and you're tired, and there's a fly right on your eyesight, and there you go, you just spit on the fly. So that was like the first mode of taking out mosquitoes and controlling bugs and what. So it's one of those things that's like, it is nice. It is nice. Same summer day, you might be really hot and be like, hey friend, can you spit on my back a little bit? Because you might not have access to a source of water, and you might be like, hey, could you spit? Because I can't spit on myself. Could you spit on my? And other people probably did that at one point. Just, it was a form of affection. It meant that you care. If you care, you spit in your face, or your friend's face at least. You'd be doing it out there, spitting in your family member's face, the elderly. And it probably would have been nice to get spat on by an elderly person and be like, oh man, coming along. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're doing it together. It's Friday. And again, it's all about perspective. Mama said, life is like a box of sex trinkets. You never know what you're going to get. Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. Mama said, life is like a box of sex trinkets. You never know what you're going to get. And that's not even considering the possibility of STDs. We're just talking about sex trinkets. You never know where we going oral, vaginal, anal, sex trinkets. You never know what you're going to get. And it is mysterious, but that's Forrest Gump. Nobody talks about him. It should be a movie, if anything. Forrest Gump should be a movie. About a fella in a full-blown gimp suit, which is, made of leather or pleather, and enjoys getting dominated. Forrest Gump. Think about it. Perspective. Keep that in mind. And let's have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there's been some, I just read this And again, keep in mind, underlying notion for today, perspective, how you look at it, what's up. AstraZeneca pulled vaccines, the COVID-19 vaccines, because they now admit that it did cause blood clots with the vaccines. Read in the newspaper, they're saying it now, they're pulling them back. 3 billion doses of the vaccines were handed out like crack cocaine in the 80s, just in every neighborhood. You get a vax, you get a vax, you get a vax. No vax, no work. No vax, no pass. Can't enter here if you don't have a vax. So they're now coming out saying that it is indeed being pulled. It did cause blood clots. But again, I'd like to remind everybody that today's podcast, the underlying theme is about perspective. So, grand scheme of things, was it worth it? Yes, it was worth it. For AstraZeneca, it was worth it. 3 billion shots were administered. Even if you were to say, 1% of 3 billion of those, so 1% of those 3 billion shots could have caused blood clots. That is, hypothetically, and I'm no scientist, at least not with a degree or a plaque, at least not that's, I print my own. I do print my own plaques. I do. My printer's like, I don't have a printer right now, but like I could go to the local library and print out a nice degree. It would be nice to have something. Maybe I'll get a tattoo of a degree. That's what I should do. More doctors should get their degrees tattooed on their chest than just practice in the nude. Let's make that happen. Everybody's wearing those just dreadful white outfits and the medical facilities getting you down. Come in there with a set of tits on you. Come in there with a nice bush. Let me know I'm gonna be living. Instead of coming in there and just telling me, I'm afraid you've only got 6 months, Mr. Smith. It's like, whoa. What's with all the negativity? What's with all the, take it easy there, Debbie Downer? Come in there and tell me I got 200 years to live, but that's also terrifying if you think about it. The doctor who comes in and tells you got 200 years to live, I'm afraid you're gonna live for 200 years, Mr. Smith. Everybody near and dear to you will die. You will live a wonderful, long life, but everyone near you will die. All your family members, your friends, man, I take it back. The 6 months is way better than the 200 years. Or maybe not, I don't know. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. But all I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, even if 1% of the vaccines, the 3 billion shots that were administered were to cause blood clots, that's 30 million blood clots. 30 million blood clots, just cute little blood clots in our cute little collective bodies. Clotting veins, just rupturing, heart attack, stroking out. What happened? Are you worth it? Think it is worth it. It's worth it. 3 billion doses were administered. Financially, at least speaking, technically speaking, financially speaking, in terms of money, in terms of quotas, in terms of statistics, in terms of charts, in terms of performance, in terms of doing good for the company did well. AstraZeneca, it was a lit few years. And we learned a lot. And what we learned, collectively, worth it, you can make bank. You can make bank. And no one can touch you. You can't get sued. You can't get any, because it's for science. You can't be held responsible for possible blood clots. And you could just eat it. And if you look at it, really honestly, if you look at it, a ton of money was made. And at the end of the day, we can all agree that money it's up there for everybody. It's really important for everybody. So I would suggest you align yourself with the AstraZeneca family and other large pharmaceutical companies out there who've done a lot of good too. Let's not make this, who've done a lot of good, and but that's how you do good. It takes money, lots of money. I'm not gonna sit here and we're not just gotta look at things from different perspectives. You want big pharma, of course, But you don't want like big pharma just to be like, you want the loosest big pharma actually. You want the loosest big pharma just running amok, doing experimental testing and, you know, non-consensual bodily harm. You want that kind of, because that's how you make strides. That's how you move forward. That's how pharmaceutical empires are built. That's how many lawyers can be afforded, fam. So again, perspective. Did people get injured? Yes. They're saying it themselves. Yes. Was it worth it? They've also said yes. So again, silencing people, censoring people, shunning people, shaming people in society, all of this division, worth it for AstraZeneca and the like. And if you're not the like, then I would like to again invite you to a perspective shifting conference in your heart and your mind. Somebody's got to be making the billions and trillions of dollars and getting special treatment. It's not going to be you or me, but somebody out there has to. And AstraZeneca happened to be one amongst the many manufacturers went out there that, you know, that did the good work. That did the good work. Killed people, potentially got people injured. Worth it. Financially speaking, for the company, worth it. Yes. Yes. Young men stroking out middle of soccer fields. NBA players. What's going on? Athletes. Wow. People drop in like flies on the, you see the videos. Worth it. Financially speaking, yes. What did we say today? Perspective. So it's all about marketing. It's how you look at it. Again, instead of going out and again, thinking that there could be better companies that do better, think about the already existing companies before you undermine, before you question all willy-nilly, before you go out there, start asking questions. You change your perspective, man. Change your perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me once again. It's been a very loose Friday. Learning, growing, one teeny tiny step at a time. Thank you very much for joining me, being a part of my life. Thank you for letting me be a part of yours. This is, yes. Love you all. Thank you again. I'll be back here again next Wednesday and Friday as per usual. Keep on rocking and rolling. Send you all love. Be good to yourselves out there. I'm going to try my best to do the same. I'll be back here again next week. In the meantime, peace out.